This week on Vallo News, Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore is facing more sexual assault allegations, and now top GOP leaders are telling him to drop out of the race. Hear the latest allegations made today.
And hundreds are dead and thousands injured after a massive earthquake near the Iran-Iraq border. Find out what warning is now being given to folks in that area.
Caught on camera, a college party ends in chaos. Find out what students were celebrating when the floor suddenly collapsed beneath them.
Plus, a top honor for UM's Communication Studies program. Find out what National Award Comms has earned.
Vallo News starts right now. Hello and welcome to Vallo News. I'm Elizabeth Reinhart.
And I'm Faith Luna. Thanks for joining us.
4 weeks before a special election, Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore is denying accusations that he pursued inappropriate relationships with teenage girls when he was in his 30s.
The former Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court says the woman who told the Washington Post that they had a sexual encounter when she was underage is lying. But Natasha Chan explains how other Republican leaders are responding as they consider this election critical to the balance of power in Washington.
I believe the women, yes. I think he should step aside.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he believes allegations that Republican Senate candidate Roy Moore pursued relationships with teenage girls. One woman claimed Moore had sexual contact with her when she was 14. He would have been in his 30s. Moore and his family continue to deny the allegations.
The Washington Post published another attack on my character reputation in a desperate attempt to stop my political campaign. These attacks either involve a minor child and are completely unfalse and untrue, and for which they will be sued.
His wife is calling this a witch hunt, saying Washington establishment and Democrat Party will stop at nothing to stop our campaign. But other Republicans are starting to move on.
I think Luther Strange would be a strong candidate for a write-in, but a write-in is very difficult, let's face it. There's no easy solution to this.
No easy solution to a race 4 weeks away that could prove critical in the balance of the Senate and foreshadow what's to come in 2018 midterm elections. Alabama voters are facing a tough decision.
Well, I never was a Roy Moore supporter to begin with, but I see no reason why several women would come out and start talking about this stuff, you know, if it wasn't true.
I believe that if the good Lord's forgiven him, as a Christian, I have to forgive him also.
The White House has said anyone who is engaged in this behavior should step down, but has stopped short of calling on Moore to quit the race. In Washington, I'm Natasha Chen.
Over the weekend, a former co-worker of Moore's spoke out, claiming it was common knowledge that Moore dated high school girls. She said the colleagues wondered why someone his age would hang out at high school football games in the mall, but at that time, no one said anything about this publicly. Monday afternoon, a new accuser came forward. Alabama resident Beverly Young Nelson says Moore sexually assaulted her when she was a minor. She says Congress should subpoena Moore to testify under oath.
Governor Kay Ivey took questions Monday about the special election for the U.S. Senate seat. The governor said the election will not be delayed because of the turmoil surrounding Roy Moore's campaign.
The election will be on December the 12th, and I will hold judgment until we get more of the facts. The people of Alabama need to know the facts.
Okay, so you're not committed to voting for him at this time?
Based on what I know now, yes, I will vote for him, but we don't have the facts. There may be some more facts to come out, but he is the party's nominee.
Okay, next question.
Special Senate election is less than a month away. Alabama voters will head to the polls on December 12th to choose our state's next senator. You must be registered to vote by November 27th to participate in the election. We've placed a link to the form on the Vallo News Facebook page.
More than 450 people are dead and 7,000 injured after a powerful 7.3 magnitude earthquake struck the border region between Iran and Iraq late Sunday. The epicenter of the quake was in rural area of Iran. More than 500 villages in this region suffered damage. Tremors were felt throughout the Middle East as far as Pakistan and Turkey. Iraqi state TV is urging citizens to stay away from buildings and to not use elevators. Authorities in Iran and Iraq have initiated rescue operations. Iran has declared 3 days of mourning.
It's been a little more than a week after the deadliest mass shooting in a place of worship in the U.S.
Now, the sanctuary at Sutherland Springs First Baptist Church has been turned into a public memorial commemorating the 26 people who were murdered there. The church removed the pews and carpet and had the entire room painted white. Chairs mark the spots where the victims died. The memorial also includes audio recordings from previous church services that feature the voices of those who were killed. The fate of the church's sanctuary has not been decided. Last week, Pastor Frank Pomeroy, whose 14-year-old daughter was killed in the attack, said it would be too painful to continue to use the building for worship. On Sunday, the associate pastor, Mark Collins, says the church congregation will decide what happens to the building at a later date.
Will the church come down or will it stay was the question, and that is a decision that the church itself, the members of this church, will make that decision sometime in the far future. We wanted to do this so that they had options, but it will be a decision that the church makes later to see how they want to memorialize. I believe if this ever did come down, and again, that's their decision, there would be something in this footprint that would eternally memorialize those that we lost.
The church held services Sunday in a nearby community center.
President Trump is about to wrap up his nearly 2-week trip overseas, and there are no shortage of headlines. Some of the biggest news came from a series of stunning comments the president made about Russian President Vladimir Putin. Kristen Holmes has the latest in Washington.
High-level meetings, closed-door sit-downs with world leaders, and photo op after photo op. President Donald Trump's whirlwind overseas trip to Asia wrapping up overnight Monday into Tuesday before departing the Philippines for the U.S. The president feeling confident about the trip so far.
It was red carpet like nobody, I think, has probably ever received. And that really is a sign of respect, perhaps for me a little bit, but really for our country.
But it's a number of other comments that have grabbed headlines.
We couldn't tell
the president has heaped praise on Rodrigo Duterte, the president of the Philippines, whose violent drug crackdown and personal confession that he killed suspected criminals when he was mayor has caused controversy. The two world leaders held a private meeting, but there's a disagreement over whether human rights were discussed. The White House says yes. A spokesman for the Philippines says no. And President Trump referring to former U.S. intelligence chiefs as, quote, political hacks after they concluded Russia sought to influence the 2016 election.
I believe that President Putin really feels, and he feels strongly, that he did not meddle in our election. What he believes is what he believes. What I believe is that we have to get to work.
Former CIA Director John Brennan taking issue with that.
I just find that outrageous, and it's something that I think that that Mr. Trump should be ashamed of, but it doesn't seem as though anything he does, he feels any shame whatsoever.
In Washington, I'm Kristen Holmes reporting.
More accounts of sexual misconduct in Hollywood celebrities are coming to light in the wake of bombshell allegations against Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey. Last week, the New York Times published allegations that comedian Louis C.K. pleasured himself in front of multiple women. The actor and comedian admitted that those allegations are true. The premiere of his new film, I Love You, Daddy, and a late-night talk show appearance were canceled late last week. Actor George Takei of Star Trek fame is denying a claim of sexual assault for an alleged incident in 1981. Actor and model Scott R. Bruton says he and Takei had drinks laced with something he says before he passed out. Bruton says he awoke to Takei on top of him, trying to remove his clothes. Bruton says he was able to leave, but never filed a police report. Takei has responded in a statement on his Twitter page saying the alleged events simply did not occur.
Turning to campus news, the University of Montevallo's Communication Studies program is in the national spotlight. The Comms program is the 2017 winner of the Rex Mix Program of Excellence Award, which recognizes outstanding undergraduate communication programs. The award is given by the National Communication Association. Comms faculty will formally accept the award this weekend in Dallas, where they will also give a presentation about their program. UM's yearbook staff is looking for students to help design the cover of the next edition of the Montage. A cover design contest was announced on social media last week. The theme for the yearbook is Speak. The contest is open to all majors, and the deadline to submit designs is November 27th. We've placed a link with more contest details on our Facebook page.
Vallo's men's and women's basketball team picked up their first wins of the season this past weekend. Find out more and watch an exclusive interview with departing senior Christy Bohan on her illustrious volleyball career on this week's Falcon Fever. You can check it out on the Vallo Vision News Facebook page. Remember, there's always more news 24/7 on our social media pages.
Just search for Vallo Vision News on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for more stories throughout the week. Still ahead on Vallo Vision News. Reading books can be fun depending on who you ask, but according to medical experts, it can also be beneficial to your health. See how reading can improve your quality of life in today's Health Minute.
Plus, the happiest place on earth had some not-so-happy guests after 9 people contracted an extreme form of pneumonia. Find out why Disneyland is to blame for the contamination.
And set your alarms. Black Friday at Walmart starts even earlier on Thanksgiving Day. Find out what time you need to be online or in store to get the best deals. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Vallo Vision News. In today's health headlines, November is National Diabetes Month. Diabetes is characterized by high levels of blood sugar resulting from defects in insulin production. 9 out of 10 diabetes patients are diagnosed with type 2 or adult onset diabetes. That's where your body doesn't produce enough insulin or use it correctly and is unable to keep blood sugar at normal levels. Doctors say a person can lower the chances of developing type 2 diabetes by losing weight, maintaining regular physical activity, and following a healthy diet. They also suggest keeping an eye on possible symptoms such as frequent urination, excessive thirst, and slow healing wounds. People with diabetes are at higher risk for serious health complications such as heart disease and stroke, so it's important to maintain your regular checkups. It's not just physical exercise that keeps you strong. Mental fitness is important too. In today's Health Minute, Kim Hutcherson tells us how reading for pleasure can be good for your health.
If you want to stay mentally fit, reduce stress, and have better relationships, try picking up a book. Studies indicate reading can improve your life in many ways. Reading can keep your brain sharp and youthful. Studies have shown reading exercises the brain in a way viewing images does not. Reading can slow age-related cognitive decline. One study, published by the National Academy of Sciences, showed that older adults who read regularly or played mentally challenging games were 2.5 times less likely to develop Alzheimer's disease. Reading can help control stress. A study by the University of Sussex in England found that reading can help lower stress levels. Reading can also improve social skills and relationships with others. Many studies have linked reading fiction to better performance on empathy and social awareness tests. In one survey, participants were given a test designed to measure empathy and another that gauged ability to interpret the mental states of others. Participants who read a lot of fiction scored far higher on measurements of social awareness. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
Disneyland Park in Southern California has shut down 2 cooling towers following an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease. Orange County health officials said 9 people who visited the park in September developed it. 3 other people who were in Anaheim but didn't visit Disneyland also got sick. Legionnaire's disease is a severe form of pneumonia. It is typically contracted by breathing mist from the water that contains Legionella bacteria. It is not contagious between humans. The towers at Disneyland Park have been treated with chemicals to destroy any Legionella bacteria inside. They will remain shut down until health officials can confirm that they are free from contamination. Test results will be back in about 2 weeks.
USA Today reports that the iPhone X sold out in 20 big cities by the end of the first weekend. And while those sales are red hot, the device itself has reportedly been freezing up in cold temperatures. Apple says it is aware of the problems of the screen becoming temporarily unresponsive to touch after a rapid change to a cold environment. The company says it's working on a software fix to the iPhone X. In the meantime, they say that after several seconds, the screen will become fully responsive again. Apple's website recommends using iOS devices in temperatures between 32 and 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Walmart shoppers will be able to get a head start on holiday discounts, whether they're shopping online or headed to a brick-and-mortar store. The retail giant plans to be open and offer those Black Friday special deals on Thanksgiving Day. Sale prices will also be available for items purchased on Walmart's website beginning at 12:01 a.m. Thanksgiving morning. If you're going to a store, doorbuster discounts will be available starting at 6 p.m. in the evening. A recent survey found that 58% of people say they want to shop on Thanksgiving Day this year. That's up from 40% in 2016. And retail experts are predicting some spending will happen this holiday season. Consumers are expected to spend $967 on average. That's according to the National Retail Federation. It's a 3.4% jump from last year. Overall, the NRF's holiday spending forecast predicts that November and December retail sales will be between $678.8 billion and $682 billion. Coming up on The Buzz, how much would you pay for these knickknacks from jewelry retail Tiffany & Co.? Your jaw will drop when you see the price tags on these items. And a GoPro got up close and personal with an erupting volcano. See what happened with the hot lava when the hot lava hits the camera.
Welcome back to Vallo Vision News. Now it's time for The Buzz.
Alex Tejada joins us now for a look at the stories that we're buzzing about. Alex?
Thanks, guys. High-end jeweler Tiffany is moving from its bling to your ring finger to your sofa table. The iconic luxury retailer is expanding its home and accessories department. It hopes knickknacks like a silver sterling ball of yarn for $9,000 or a sterling tin can for a mere $1,000 will attract millennial shoppers. The collection even includes a sterling protractor. The company says it believes beautiful things shouldn't be limited to special occasions. The expanded home department at the flagship store on 5th Avenue also includes a restaurant. So like Audrey Hepburn, you can now have breakfast or lunch at Tiffany's.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm surprised about who would decorate their home like that. But I have my eye on that $350 Chinese takeout box, so.
As a millennial, I would say, nope, no way. I would never do it.
Well, if this is geared toward millennials, why aren't these things $5? Because all of us are in college and we're poor, so we need something like not so expensive.
Yeah, on to other things I won't be able to afford. General Motors has revealed the fastest and most powerful factory-built Corvette ever. GM says the 2019 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1 will have 755 horsepower, 6.2-liter supercharged engine, and a top speed of 210 miles an hour. The Corvette is generally thought of as an accessible sports car, but GM refers to the ZR1 as a supercar. It will have more horsepower than a Lamborghini Aventador, a Ferrari 488 GTB, or the exotic Ford GT. GM hasn't put a price tag on the 2019 Corvette ZR1, which will go on sale in the spring. I have to say I'm a huge car person, and I really do like the design. It's not, Corvette's kind of a niche car, but it's kind of expanding. Now it kind of looks like a supercar, and like they said, it has more power than the Ferrari, so maybe now it'll appeal to a more European
You don't need
style.
that much of horsepower. Like, I will never be driving 210 miles an hour.
Yeah, or I hope not at least.
I hope not, yes.
And it's only been out for 3 days, and it's already on track to break record sales. According to data from Nielsen Music published by Billboard, Taylor Swift's new album Reputation sold more than 700,000 copies in its first day, and Variety says that puts Swift on track to sell more than 1 million records in the album's first week.
Well, I will be one of those people buying the album because I love Taylor Swift. I know that she is problematic, but I love her, and I love the new songs, and she's just awesome. I just like her.
I love Taylor Swift. I like when she switched styles on her last album to more of a pop artist. I'm bummed that it's not on Apple Music or Spotify, so I'm going to have to make a trip out and buy it because, you know, definitely support music.
You're a Swiftie.
Yeah, definitely.
Swiftie!
A college party in Denton, Texas very nearly ended in tragedy when the floor of the apartment building collapsed. Cameras were rolling when the floor gave way. Several people endured a terrifying drop into the apartment below. It was reportedly a homecoming celebration at the University of North Texas. Witnesses say partygoers had been jumping up and down when the floor crumbled. Luckily, there were only minor injuries.
I'm just trying to picture how I would feel when a bunch of college students fell into my apartment in the middle of the night.
You're like, oh, there they are.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the point of view of the party goers. You know,
Yeah.
you're trying to celebrate a North Texas victory, but you think they would have thought about what floor of the building they were on, because that's frightening.
You know, they'll think twice before they jump up and down again, right?
Yeah. And everything's on camera these days.
Yes.
And speaking of checking things out on camera, check this out. Amazing up-close video of a tour guide's GoPro becoming engulfed in a lava flow in Hawaii. Eric Storm says it happened by accident while he was guiding a tour in Kalapana back in August of 2016. Storm says he used a rock hammer to extract the camera after the lava began to cool and harden. He thought it had surely been destroyed, but was amazed to see the blue Wi-Fi light still blinking. And, as you can see, the footage of the lava was all there. Storm has rejected accusations that the incident was staged. He says the 2016 video is just now getting attention because a professional photographer he recently spoke to wanted to feature it in a story. I definitely would want to feature that in a story. That is miraculous.
Yeah, that's so cool just to see all the lava coming at the camera, and somehow he still got the footage and it wasn't just lost forever. That's just amazing.
That could definitely be an advertisement for GoPro. Not only can it withstand water, it can withstand lava.
Right.
Lava proof.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the camera's broken, but your memory card will work.
And
So.
that's what's important.
Right, that is what's important. Thanks, Alex. And finally this week, it's a sure sign that the holiday season is that much closer. In New York City Saturday, it was the arrival of the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. The 12-ton, 75-foot-tall Norway spruce hit town early in the morning from State College, Pennsylvania.
Workers wasted little time putting the tree into position. Once the tree is all decked out, it'll include more than 50,000 lights topped with a star. The official lighting is November 29th.
And that's all the time we have for today's show. Remember, there's more campus and community news on our website.
Just head over to vallovisionnews.wordpress.com to see stories from mass communication student reporters throughout the week. Thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in to Vallo Vision News again next week.